أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. It is the advent of the Imamat of Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam, after the Shahadat of Imam Askari alayhi salam. And Imam Askari is one of those Imams who was the youngest when he passed away at the age of 28. And the duration of his Imamat also, it's the shortest duration, which is just 6 years. And all of the Imams after Imam Rida alayhi salam, that is Imam al-Jawad, Imam Hadi, Imam Askari alayhim salam, they had a very difficult life, and most of the duration of their life was also in the prisons, and in particular the life of Imam Askari alayhi salam. Now they are in Samirra. Samirra also, the title that is given to Imam is Imam Askari. Askari, it's from Askar, because those areas where Imam was detained or imprisoned in those barracks, they belong to the military. For that reason, Imam is also, the laqab that is given is Askari. So very difficult times Imam had, and in that short life also, quite a lot of his life was spent in the different prisons, one prison after the other. And the final prison where he was detained, and then from where his shahadat also takes place, it's the prison of Nihrir Khadim. And in those days of the shahadat of Imam alayhi salam, the Khulafa Abbasi la'natullahi alayhim, who poisoned the Imam to have a good image in front of people, he 5 of his ministers were instructed to visit the Imam twice daily, and also 10 of the known and renowned ulama in Baghdad and Samirra were instructed by the Khalifa to pay regular visits to the Imam alayhi salam, just to have his image covered, that he cares for the Imam, he worries for the Imam, for his well-being, that his ministers and the ulama, they are frequenting and visiting the Imam alayhi salam. Now all that was nifaq, and all that was hypocrisy, just to show that he is not the killer, whence in reality he is the qatil and the killer of Imam alayhi salam. The Imams after Imam Rida alayhi salam, all 3 of them, that is our 9th Imam, Imam al-Jawad, 10th Imam Hadi, and 11th Imam Askari, all of them were renowned and known as Ibn al-Rida, that is the sons of Rida alayhi salam, because Imam Rida, the fame that he had and the global recognition that Imam had, as a result of which Imam al-Jawad, his son, also was known as Ibn al-Rida, and Imam Hadi and Imam Askari, all of them were renowned as Ibn al-Rida alayhim salam. Now, the days that Imam Askari is living in, because there is no access to the Imam, the only way to the Imam is through letters and correspondence that people, they wrote to the Imam, because no public presentation is there, Imam is imprisoned. And the only way people could get in touch with the Imam is by writing letters to them. So even in these prisons where he is under severe surveillance, it was difficult to meet the Imam. So people, they wrote to the Imam. Now there is a topic that we have discussed earlier, and that is regarding Ism A'zam. Ism A'zam, they are the secret words, secret codes between Allah and His chosen servants. So Ism A'zam, it is not a letter, it is not a character, it is not a symbol, it is not a script. It is a secret, a sir that is between Allah and His servants. And in this grand creation of Allah the Almighty, He has 73 Ism A'zam. Now this is a hadith from Imam Askari alayhi salam. Imam says that Asma'ullah al-A'zam, or the Ism A'zam, there are 73 letters, 73 words. Asif bin Barkhiya, that is the person who brought the throne of Bilqis from Yemen to Palestine in a blink of an eye, he had that one Ism A'zam with which he performed miraculous tasks, and with that he spoke to the earth opened before him. The distance between the Saba, Sheba and Palestine, it vanished, and the throne of Bilqis was presented in no time. Now that Asif bin Barkhiya, who was among the ministers of Prophet Sulaiman, he had access to one Ism A'zam. Now for Ism A'zam also we have some of the ayat and surahs of Quran that Ism A'zam is hidden in it, like Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, where we don't know, but it has that Ism A'zam. Suratul Ikhlas has Ism A'zam embedded in it. The last 5 ayat of Suratul Hashr, that is لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل, until the end of Suratul Hashr, has that Ism A'zam embedded in it, and many other ayat and surahs of Quran, they have that Ism A'zam. Now Imam Askari, he says that Ism A'zam, there are 73 words. Says 72 of them are with us, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So the Imams, they have access to 72 from 73 Ism A'zam. He says that, now in another quote from Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam, Imam says that Prophet Isa, he had access to 2, and with that all of those miraculous tasks were performed by Prophet Isa, like curing the deaf, the blind, or giving life to the dead, so on and so forth. All those miraculous tasks and affairs that were performed by Prophet Isa were with those 2 Ism A'zam that he had access to. Prophet Musa alayhi salam was blessed with 4, Prophet Ibrahim with 8, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam with 15, and Prophet Adam alayhi salam, who had access to 25 Ism A'zam. Now 25, Prophet Adam has the maximum, but here Imam says that we, the Ahlul Bayt, that is the Imams alayhimus salam, have access to 72 from 73 Ism A'zam. The one that is with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Because after all of the Imams, they are servants and they are the Abd of Allah Jalla wa'ala. Allah has access to all of that. Imams have access to 72 from 73. So when we say that Imams can perform all those miraculous tasks and have access to what and what not, all of that is by the barakat of the ilm that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has blessed the Imams with. We talked on this issue quite a lot regarding the knowledge that the Imams have. It is a knowledge which is from ghaib given to the Imams, to the Ma'asumeen alayhimus salam. So the aqidah that we have for the Imam has to be so strong and so crystal clear that Imam, may he be in his grave in Karbala, for example, or Imam al-Asr alayhi salam, who is ghaib, now he is not before me, but the iman of mine should be such that wheresoever he be, His presence should be felt by me, and I should feel that I am in His presence. Now all this is a lesson to myself first, that whatever I do, whatever I say, whatever I hear, I should know that it is in the inbox of the Imam instantly. All my actions are before the Imam alayhi salam. The knowledge that Allah has given to them. The same thing applies, that if I have a wish, a dua, a hajat, I can have that granted and delivered to the Imam alayhi salam in Karbala, all the way from here, and that can be done or even when I'm in Karbala. So the distance doesn't matter. The passage of time doesn't matter. That aqidah has to be so strong that wherever we be, that board or that distance should not be a hindrance. Now, when we talk about the ilm and the knowledge of the Imams alayhi salam, for example, Imam Askari, he is in the prisons, and then the only access people have to the Imam is via correspondence and letters. Now here the writer, he says, "Katabtu ila Abi Muhammad," that is, I wrote a letter to Imam Askari alayhi salam. Now his kunya is Abu Muhammad, the title of Imam Askari. Now, because the name of Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wasalam is the same name as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. And the adab that has been taught to us is that you don't address Imam al-Asr alayhi salam by his name. So he has to be addressed by the titles like Sahib al-Zaman, like Baqiyatullah, like Aba Saleh, etc. So the name of the Imam must not be written, must not be addressed, but must not be said. And the adab that Allah has taught us is, He says that even if you were to write the name of the Imam alayhi salam, the first name, write it in broken letters and it is not written together. That is the height of adab the Almighty Allah has asked us to observe with reference to the name of the Imam. So here the person, he says, I wrote a letter to Abu Muhammad, that is Imam Askari alayhi salam, and I had a few questions. The first question that I had is that أسأله عن معنى قول رسول الله لأمير المؤمنين عليه السلام, that is the statement that Rasulullah had for Amir al-Mu'mineen, من كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه, whosoever's Mawla I am, this Ali is his Mawla. He says that I wrote to the Imam to ask what is the meaning of this Mawla. Mawla, is it a friend? Mawla, is it a master? Mawla, is it an associate or something else that means over here? And then Imam in reply, he says that أراد بذلك أن يجعله علما يعرف به عند الفرقة. Imam says that Rasulullah has intended by this Mawla alam. Alam means a flag, means a center point. That is, whenever there is going to be any kind of tafriqa, any kind of disunity, there this flag will bring everyone together. Says when Rasulullah says, Man kuntu mawla, whosoever's Mawla I am. So Mawla over here means the flag. That is the flag which unites everyone, which brings everyone together, which gives strength to everyone. That is the meaning of Mawla in the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Further says that in Quran also you've got that. It says that Allah inna hizballah humul muflihun, indeed Hizbullah, the party of Allah, they are the ones who are the prosperous, who are the triumphant, who are the successful. Says, why is that they are the Hizbullah and why is that they are successful? Because when there is any disunity, this Hizb and the party of Allah will bring and unite everyone together. And then Imam further says that further statements that we have from Rasulullah, one of them states, Aliyun ma'al haq wal haqqu ma'a Ali, that Ali is with haq, with right, and right is also is with Ali. And both of them, they circle around one another. Or in another statement, Rasulullah, he says that if you see that the entire nation is moving towards a valley, and Ali all alone, he is moving towards another valley, says, know that haqq is with Ali alayhi salam. So, Mawla means alam, means the flag, means the center point that unites everyone from tafriqa, from disunity. The second letter that was written to Imam Askari alayhi salam, the writer is Hassan bin Zarif. He says that I wrote to the Imam, كتبت إلى أبي محمد أسأله عن الحجة. I inquired him about Imam al-Asr. Hujjah over here, it's the argument, and that is Imam al-Asr alayhi salam. إذا قام بما يقضي, when he rises, how will he judge? Because وَأَيْنَ مَجْلِسُ الَّذِي يَقْضِي فِيهِ, and where will he sit for his judiciary, and where will his judgments be carried out from amongst the people? And then he says that I had another question that I wanted to write to Imam Askari alayhi salam. I wanted to ask him, وَكُنْتُ أَرَدْتُ أَنْ أَسْأَلَهُ عَنْ شَيْءٍ لِحُمَّ الرُّبْعِ. I wanted to ask the Imam about Humm al-Rub. It's a kind of a fever. I wanted to inquire that what should we do when we have this temperature and this fever. He says that I intended to write that, but I forgot, and I just wrote the question about the judgment of Imam al-Asr alayhi salam, and I forgot to write the second question, and I sent the letter to the Imam alayhi salam in the presence, Imam Askari. And then the answer that Imam gives says, سَأَلْتَ عَنِ الْقَائِمِ, that is, you asked about Imam al-Asr. إِذَا قَام, when he rises, how will he be judging? Imam in reply says that he will judge with the knowledge that is given to him, just like Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, he used to wait for wahi to be revealed, and whatever the revelation was, based upon that he used to judge. He never asked for any plaintiffs, any defendants, anyone to swear an oath, to bring witnesses, no. If someone had a complaint, their Prophet Dawood, he used to wait for the revelation, wahi to be revealed, and he used to judge. Now, one of the incidents that has been mentioned in the books of Ahadith is that a young boy, he was hungry, he was supplicating, praying to the Almighty God, that God, you send my rizq, my sustenance to my house. I've worked hard enough, more than this I want. I just pray to you that you send my rizq and my food to my house. He says that as he was supplicating, a cow ran into his house. The doors were open, the cow ran in, and he said that this is the acceptance of my dua, and this cow has been sent for me. He slaughters the cow, and then he has his big meal. Now the owner of the cow, he comes behind the cow in search of the cow, and finds that the cow has been slaughtered by this young lad. He brings him to the presence of Prophet Dawood and complains that this was my cow, without my consent, without my permission, he has slaughtered it. Prophet Dawood, he says, okay, wait, let's wait for the wahi, for the revelation. Wahi is revealed for the first time, saying that Dawood, tell that person to let go the cow and settle this matter here and go home. The owner of the cow, he starts making a lot of noise in the courtroom. He says, what kind of a judgment was that? That belonged to me, and then he slaughtered it without my permission. He needs to pay for the cow, and that animal needs to come back to me. Prophet Dawood again waits for Wahy to be revealed, and then Wahy is revealed that whatever you have from the animals, your possession, all of that be given to the young boy. He is extremely furious that what kind of a judgment is this? That my cow got killed by that young lad, and in return I have to give away all my animals to that young lad. He is unhappy. Wahy is revealed for the third time that in addition to all the animals and the livestock that that man has, all the possessions, that is all his wealth, all his slaves and maids, including himself, be given to the young lad. He is furious that what was this? What kind of a judgment was that? I had a complaint my cow was killed without my permission, and in return I have to give away everything that I have, including myself, to the young boy. Prophet Dawood with that young lad and this man, they say that let's go to a graveyard. They come by a grave, and then Prophet Dawood ﷺ says, Bi'iznillah, by the command of Allah, rise to the person who was buried in the grave. He rises, he stands with all that dust and dirt on his face and body, says, Assalamu alayk ya Nabi Allah, salam be upon you, O Prophet of Allah. Then Prophet Dawood says, tell us what the story is. Now the person buried in the grave who just got who rose from the grave, he says that this person who had come to you with the complaint of the cow, he was my partner in my business, my trade, my sharik. He killed me, and he usurped and stole away all my wealth, all my belongings, all my animals, everything. In reality, whatever he has belongs to that young lad who killed and slaughtered the cow. So that is Wahy, and that is how Prophet Dawood ﷺ, he judged during his time. Imam says, when Imam Askari in reply to this person, he says that when Imam al-Asr ﷺ will rise, will emerge, his judgment also will be based upon the same ilm that he has and has been given by the Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And then Imam writes this note to him that you intended to write about, you wanted to ask about that fever and what should be done. Imam says, on a piece of paper, write this ayah, Ya nar kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim, O fire, be cold and peaceful upon Ibrahim, and then put it or place it by this person who is afflicted with that temperature and fever, and he will be granted cure and shifa. He says, I wrote that and then I put it on that person who was suffering with this fever, and he was cured by that one ayah that was written and the instructions of the Imam alayhi salam. So he had forgotten to write, but Imam there, he says that the answer to that also is this. That is that ilm that Imams they have. Likewise, many other companions of the Imams alayhimus salam, one of the companions of Imam Askari is Abdullah bin Jundab. He writes to the Imam. Now he is among those who has witnessed 3 Imams. Among the most sincere was the representative of Imam Rida alayhi salam, and was among the mukhbitin. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْمُخْبِتِينَ, the hadith says. Mukhbitin means very sincere, very humble towards the Imam, towards everyone. Now in Quran also there is an ayah which says Bashir al-Mukhbitin, that is, give good news to the humble. So mukhbit, it is one of the qualities that people they have to carry, that is total submission to the Almighty Allah, that humility and humbleness that they have. Now, he died during the time of Imam Rida alayhi salam, and then the wikalat that he had was given to Abdul Azim Hassani. Now he is the Imam Zadeh who was buried in the south of Tehran, who was the representative of Imam Rida alayhi salatu wassalam. Abdullah bin Jundab, he says that my father, he wrote to Imam Askari alayhi salam, Kataba ila Abil Hasan, Ja'al tu fidak, may I be sacrificed unto you. Now when they write to the Imam, the adab is observed that Ja'al tu fidak, may I be sacrificed unto you. Inni qad kabirtu, I've grown old, and many of these tasks and observances that I could have done when I was younger and all those abilities were there, I cannot perform them, I cannot do them, I'm not strong enough. Old age also has its own issues with it. And then Imam, to Imam he says that teach me something that I could do and I could perform and yet be rewarded for not performing many of these observances and tasks. فكتب إليه قد بعثت إليك بكتاب فاقرأه وتفهمه. Imam says, I've written and responded to your question, and then read it carefully. فإن فيه شفاء لمن أراد الله. Says there is shifa for whosoever seeks the Almighty Allah, and guidance whosoever intends the Almighty Allah. Imam says, فأكثر من ذكر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Repeat a lot, say a lot, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Now the first ayah we know the meaning, that is in the name of Allah, the merciful, the compassionate. La hawla wa la quwwata, there is no movement, there is no might, illa billah al-ali al-azim, but from Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, the great, the lofty, the high. So that is the meaning. Imam says repeat that a lot and you will be rewarded for that, you will be given shifa for that, and then to be safe from all these tests and tribulations, after Fajr prayers, repeat it 7 times. After Maghrib prayers, repeat 7 times. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-Ali al-Azim. And even if you recall your memories in these days, then we were reciting the Maqtal of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein on a number of occasions. Throughout that Maqtal of Abu Abdullah, he repeats this La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-Ali al-Azim. Imam further says that the Prophet has said, فَإِنَّهُ مِنْ كُنُوزِ الْجَنَّةِ, it is from among the treasures of the heaven, that this recital, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-ali al-azim. Now Muhammad bin Hassan bin Maymun, he says that I took the pen intending to write to the Imam, that is Imam Askari, and as I held the pen I was reminded of a hadith. His grandfather, Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam. And then he says that I put away the pen. Now he is someone who is suffering hand to mouth and then in crisis financially. Was reminded of this hadith where Imam says, Al-faqru ma'ana khayrun min al-ghina ma'a aduwina. Faqr means poverty. Faqr means a person, he is hand to mouth. His income is less than his expenses. The hadith says that being poor, poverty, remaining poor with us is better than being rich and being with our enemies. And then says, وَالْقَتْلُ مَعَنَا خَيْرٌ مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ مَعَ عَدُوِّنَا. And then being killed, once associated with us, is better than a living but with our enemies. So be poor with the Ahlul Bayt, it's much better. A person, he be killed, and then it's better than living with a life with the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. He says a few days passed. My situation, it did not change, and I wrote to the Imam, and he replied, إن الله يخص أولياءنا إذا تكاثرت ذنوبهم بالفقر وَقَدْ يَعْفُ عَنْ كَثِيرٍ مِّنْهُمْ. Says, indeed Allah, He afflicts our friends with poverty, with faqr, when their sins they increase, and He forgives many of the sins. So that again another hope that is given by the Imam, that even in those difficult situations, Allah He is forgiving us. Now whatever that reason is, we don't know, but that forgiveness and the maghfirah of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is there. Now all these earthquakes and then rains, etc., sometimes the drought, sometimes it doesn't rain. Sometimes these clouds, they are diverted. Hadith says that every cloud has been destined with a destination, has been programmed, that much of water and that many raindrops have to fall in such and such a region. Says sometimes you see that the cloud is coming and then it is taken away. Says the reason for it moving away is that the angels who are carrying that cloud have been instructed that that water should not drop in that land due to sins that were committed by the inhabitants of that place. So, إن الله يخص أولياءنا إذا تكاثرت ذنوبهم بالفقر. So the Almighty Allah, He tries, and then our friends, when there is a lot of sin and a lot of wrong that has been done by them, He afflicts them with poverty and with faqr. Now, there are many ayat in Quran that talk about this, and then the Almighty Allah also has emphasized regarding us being connected to the Ahlul Bayt, to the Imams alayhimus salam. For example, the hadith says that نَحْنُ كَهْفٌ لِمَنْ الْتَجَأَ إِلَيْنَا. That is, we are the shelter for those who have sought us. وَنُورٌ لِمَنْ إِسْتَضَاءَ بِنَا. And we are the light for those who seek light from us. وَعِسْمَةٌ لِمَنْ اعْتَسَمَ بِنَا. And we are that ismat and that safe haven for whosoever who seeks us for shelter and for help. مَنْ أَحَبَّنَا كَانَ مَعَنَا فِي السَّنَامِ الْأَعْلَى وَمَنْ انْحَرَفَ عَنَّا فَإِلَى النَّارِ. And one who loves us is in the highest levels both here and in the hereafter. And one who stands against us is in the fire. And the Prophet ﷺ, in that glorious quote, he says that Quran and Ahlul Bayt will unite by the pond of Kawthar, and Ahlul Bayt, may they be dead or alive, no difference it makes, always you seek them, always you call upon them, always get help from them, the Ahlul Bayt. Now, after the demise and the shahadat of Imam Askari alayhi salam, the Imamat of Imam al-Asr alayhi salam starts, and when the body of Imam Askari was prepared, his brother Ja'far, known as Ja'far Kazzab, the liar, he comes and stands behind the body to offer the funeral prayers on the Imam, and then saying that he is the next Imam after Imam Askari. Now, it is our belief in our Aqidah that the funeral services of an Imam, they have to be conducted by an Imam, the successor. So Imam al-Asr at that time, he is 5 years old, he comes and he stands before the body of his father, holds his uncle's hand and says that I am more deserving to offer prayers on the Imam alayhi salam. And he says that the uncle was stunned to see, never seen a young child before. And with all that courage and might, he comes, he stands and he offers prayers on the Imam. And then he was never to be seen again. Now, Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam, he is the service provider today. He is the Imam. And everything is in his control, everything is in his possession. And the statement says that بِيُمْنِهِ رُزِقَ الْوَرَى. It is by the presence of the Imam alayhi salam, the sustenance of the entire creation, it is provided. There is this Ziyarat Ali Yasin. Towards the end of this Ziyarat Ali Yasin, there are beautiful statements. One of them says, وَأَن تَمْلَأَ قَلْبِي نُورَ الْيَقِينِ وَمَوَدَّتِي نُورَ الْمُوَالَاتِ. That Allah, you fill my heart with the light of certainty, with the light of yaqeen. وَمَوَدَّتِي, mawadda, it's that mahabbat, the devotion that I have towards the Imam, that devotion also be filled with the light of muwalat and friendship. So that mahabbat should be crystal clear, which should be pure. The heart also should be filled with the mahabbat and the love of the Imam, because that heart belongs to the Imam. In that heart, you can have either the Imam or the opponents of the Imam. You can't have both of them together. It's either haqq that can be installed in the heart, or it is the batil that can take place. Both of them, they cannot be. It's either Ali or Muawiyah. بموالاتكم علمنا الله معالم ديننا وأصلح ما كان فسد من دنيانا. That is, through your friendship, Allah, He taught us the laws of our religion, and He corrected that which was corrupted from our world. So that mahabbat that we have towards the Imam, that corrects everything, that fixes everything. When people, they are summoned and called and invited to the harams of the Imams alayhimus salam, that is a fact. That invite comes from the Imam, he invites, and we are taken to that place. That muwalat, mahabbat, has to be there in us. That desire to be there has to be there in us, and then they call us, invite us, and they summon us towards them. So muwalat, it has two meanings embedded in it: friendship and obedience. Together they mean muwalat. So it's a reciprocal meaning. So if I love the Imam, he also loves me. So it's a two-way mahabbat that is there. So originating from the Babul Mufa'ala, it has a reciprocal meaning. That is, we love and we obey them. They too in return, they love us and they listen to us. They grant our hajat, our wishes, and they will mediate, and they mediate in the hereafter. That is muwalat. Sayyid ibn Taus, one of the greatest of the ulama of the Shia world, he is among those who recognizes the voice of the Imam, the fragrance of the Imam. He says that one morning I was in the Sardab. Sardab, it's that basement of the house of Imam alayhi salam, where he was seen for the last time in Masjid in Samarra, in the basement of which is by the sacred shrine of Imam Askari alayhi salam. That his house also was the same place where he has been buried. So there he says that I was performing the a'mal of the Sardab and the basement of Samirra, and then I hear the Imam, he is supplicating to the Almighty Allah. Says that Allahumma inna shi'atana khalaqta min shu'a'i anwarina. God, you have created our Shias with the noor with which we were created, with the rays of that light with which we were created. وَبَقِيَّةِ تِينَتِنَا, and the leftover clay with which we, the Imams, the Ma'sumin, were created. Says they have done a lot of wrong, O God. And then he says, God, if the wrong that our Shias they have done, if it is in the huququllah, that is in matters pertaining to Allah, like prayers, like fast, like Hajj, etc., he says that, God, I will be a mediator and I ask you to forgive them. And if it is something to do with huququn nas, which is money matters, says that, God, make them so much rich that khums becomes wajib on them. Khums is my right, and I will pay away their dues and debts with that khums which is mine. So we have an Imam who is such kind, such caring, such loving towards the Shias. That is muwalat. That is, you love the Imam, in return you get the love of the Imam alayhi salam. Or for example, Abu Rabi Shami, he says that I asked Imam as-Sadiq about a report that I have heard from Amr bin Ishaq. The report is, he says that I entered upon Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and Imam, he finds him pale. He says, why are you so pale? He replied, I am in pain. Imam said, in your joy we are happy, in your sorrow we are in grief, and in your illnesses we get ill, and we pray for you. You too pray, and we will say Ameen to your du'as. Amr says, I said I understood what you said, but how do you say Ameen for our du'as? Imam replied, for us, distance, near or far, it does not matter. Imam as-Sadiq then said that he has said the truth. So Imams alayhimus salam, their care is always there, their mahabbat, their muwalat is always there. What we find in this ziyarat, Ali Yasin, that is bimuwalatikum allamana Allah ma'alim dinina. That is because of this muwalat and mahabbat that we have towards you, Allah, He guides us. Many a times we see that we get carried away and then we get back on track and a correction takes place in our life. That correction is because of this muwalat, this mahabbat that we have towards the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. That guidance is given to us by them. That forgiveness is given to us by them. That tawfiq to repent and return to the Almighty Allah is given to us by them. And it is clear that muwalat, it is reciprocal, and it is a two-way relationship that we have with the Imam, and Imam also has that relationship with us. And it is evident that the dear Imam, the kind Imam, with the immense love that he has a special regard to his Shias, and is he not the divine link and the mercy to the worlds? Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says that may God have mercy on one who makes us beloved before mankind, and do not make people hate us, dislike us. Kunu lana zaynan wa la takunu alayna shayna. That is, be a means of pride for us, don't be a means of shame for us. Now, all these are the statements that we have from the Imam. So, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. And numerous many ayat that we have in Quran. So, muwalat, that is that love that we have towards the Imam. In another phrase in the same ziyarat Ali Yasin, we say that وَفَازَ الْفَائِزُونَ بِوِلَايَتِكُمْ. That is, successful and prosperous are all of these people. Why are they prosperous and successful? It is because of this wilayat they have, because of that mahabbat they have towards you, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. فَكَانُوا هُمُ السَّبِيلِ إِلَيْكَ. That is, they are the path towards Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. وَالْمَسْلَكَ إِلَىٰ رِضْوَانِكَ. And they are the way towards the pleasure of the Almighty Allah. So all these beautiful statements we have regarding the Imams alayhimus salam and the muhabbat they have towards us, which is a reflection of that muhabbat that we have towards them. And that's why we say in all of these ziyarat, فَمَعَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. That is, مَعَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ, that we are with you, with emphasis. لَا مَعَ غَيْرِكُمْ, not with anyone who is other than you. So we are with you at all times. And we remain, inshallah, with the Imams عليهم السلام. يا الله بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها، يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله. اللهم أحينا حياة محمد وآله وأمتنا ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة محمد وآل محمد، وفي الآخرة شفاعة محمد وآل محمد. May Allah hasten in the return of our Imam, our Master, count us all among the best of His servants and those who seek shahadat in His service. Allah make this day Mubarak and count us all among the best of the servants of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma arini talat al-rashida wal-ghurrat al-hamida wakhal nadhiri bin-nadratin minni ilayh wa'ajjil farajahu wa sahil makhrajah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa'ajjil farajahu.